Hi everybody, I'm back. So I was just thinking if we should continue with e-commerce and just, share whatever my learnings has have been. But then I thought that, I'm getting a lot of queries and I just feel the need to share, a few things that I've learned about, career paths in, the recent times. So I thought, why not just come up with, top 10 high paying career paths that are going to, make more sense or going to stay relevant in the future as well. And on top of that, as I've always been saying that, your basic, if you have basic skill sets, that's going to take you nowhere. Even wherever you're currently working, I don't mean to demotivate you or anything, but you need to level up if you want to grow. If you have big dreams, if you have goals, then you really need to level up, right? So I'll just dive right into it. So I've divided this whole thing and just shaded them as per my own perception, right? So this is my opinion on these different career paths. Maybe someone else, might have a different opinion on this. So I basically work in tech, particularly in product. So my role is mostly, aligned with developers, with marketing, with business, with the core team, with leadership. So I basically work with everybody, with internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. So I work in e-commerce. I work in, core development. I work with marketing, but work with business on and the core teams and the strategic management function as well on you know high level goals, objectives, OKRs, and the strategic vision as well. So based on my exposure, I'm just going to shortly share my top 10 list. So first off, I'll just start off with financial analysts. Then we have software development, digital marketing, data analysis, data analytics, cloud computing. I've just put supply chain, operations under e-commerce and Amazon FBA. And then we have cybersecurity or analysts, artificial intelligence and machine learning engineers, product management, UI UX design, and financial analyst. So out of all these, I would highly rate software development. um, Although there are a lot of AI tools, I'll talk about them in some other video that really now help with coding, but software development is still one of the hottest career paths. Python being on top, learn some Python, and the reason is that, as I always say, Python is the language of the future. Legacy systems are based on Java, and Java has by far the biggest use cases. Um, so therefore JavaScript is again very popular, especially with Mern and Mean. And then we have mobile and web development. So again, for this I would say that Xcode, which is particularly iOS development, is something that should add a great skill to your existing skill set. For digital marketing, as I said, all of these, the ones that I've listed, SEO, PPC, etc., these are very basic skills, right? So along with that, learn tools. I have already shared a lot of some tools, very important or very popular tools in one of my reels. But again, on top of that, there are tons and tons of tools such as like Go High Level or any automation tools as well, so that you need to learn that as well. Data analysts, or someone who wants to get into business intelligence, for that you should definitely learn SQL is like something that is a requirement now, right? For example, I mostly work with startups, and every startup, like even the most basic or beginner roles, have SQL as a requirement, right? Power BI, again, this is something that is very basic, and it's pretty easy to learn as well because data visualization and everything else is done on Power BI. Basic Python again will add a lot, and it will make your skill set and uh, again your resume to come out as something someone become someone very attractive to recruiters. And then basic Excel, Google Sheet formulas, etc. Things like that. So after that, cloud computing and DevOps. I mean, cloud computing and DevOps is again quite hot, right? And it's fun as well. So a lot of people that I personally know, like people who are, working in tech specifically, or they're more of like a tech support role, working on a tech support role, no basic cloud computing and DevOps. So AWS is obviously, I mean, it's the king. A lot of resources, a lot of products from AWS can be used, and mostly startups again, or companies or organizations and teams that quickly want to scale up use AWS. Anything based on Microsoft specifically, is based on Azure. Similarly, Kubernetes, and then Linux. I mean, every developer loves Linux. So yeah, I mean, and it's very extensive, so there are no limitations to it. So you can play around. For logistics, there are tons and tons of things to be learned. But again, with respect to data, that is something that should be learned. Number one, number two, product analysis, competitor analysis. What are the different processes, stages, and steps involved within supply chain? How to convert a supply chain into a value chain? What is the difference? Which is obviously based on lean methodologies, right? So all of that stuff falls under operations, logistics, and supply chain. And then cybersecurity, again, amazing and very hot. It's going to stay very relevant in the near and later future as well. Everybody is talking about AI. Everybody wants AI, and therefore data and AI, that they're always going to go hand in hand. Um, AI is mostly based on data, right? Because AI eats data, AI is based on data. It's just the data that is through that data, any program that is built, any AI program that is built is able to come up with, whatever outcome you need, right? But that is all based on data. So again, in terms of languages and frameworks, we have Python, TensorFlow, deep learning, right? Very hot, going to stay relevant for years to come, maybe decades. I'll come to product management part at the end. So financial analysts, people need money. People are always going to go after money, right? So again, any sort of data analytics, data, analysis skills that you can, learn, particularly with respect to financial modeling. Then, with financial modeling, you'll be able to learn and make sense of stock market, analyze stock market using different models, right? So learn the basics. Do not get into templates or anything. Just hardcore learning, old school learning. UI UX design, again, very hot. Figma is by far, the easiest and the most convenient tool, very quick and very helpful. But after Adobe basically came up with a lot of updates, so it is again, head to head with Figma. So learn wireframing and prototyping. It's people who are into creative sort of work. Again, UI UX design is something that they should definitely look into. And everything within every organization that is based on a product, or is building a product. So product management is the central function that brings everything together, aligns everything, right? And apart from aligning, it is the function or the individual or the team that basically gives directions, keeps everyone focused, prioritizes, helps them stay very aligned with the goals, right? Because this is the team, or these are the people who know what to do, when to do, how to do, right? They come up with iterations, they come up with ideas, they come up with the roadmap, they come up with the deadlines, and these are the people or the team who is basically communicating and closely, aligned and involved into different activities with the internal and external stakeholders. So something very similar to a product manager would be a business analyst. There's only a minor difference between both. Product managers, like myself, they are, involved in different aspects with external and internal stakeholders and a lot of other functions and people. Business analysts are mostly aligned towards the internal. So yeah, so all of that stuff. And then on top of everything, right? So no matter what career path you choose, there's something which is breaking down everything into small steps, small pieces. Something that I talk about again and again is process management, right? Mapping the process, managing the process, breaking it down into simple, steps, pieces. That is very important. This is something that, like, visually right here, this is something that I've tried to do, right? I had 10 different career paths in my mind, and then there were details attached to associated with each of these career paths. So I just tried to, map it down, break it down first, and according to, the top 4 or 5 maybe pointers, and then just simply map it down, right? So to simply put it, this is what process management is all about. Then you have as is and to be models, where you see that this is how things are, which is the as is model, and then you come up with an advanced or sort of a refined version of it, which is called to be. These are the sort of terms that I use. So these things, and then on top of these, you then move towards different tools for each of these different career paths. Some of these tools or some of these languages and frameworks are already there. Something that I think everyone should learn. Basic tools, I've already named them, like Monday, ClickUp, MindMeister, any sort of analytical tools. Then go high level, any other good CRM, right? And then for developers, there are tons of tools, such as, recently I just came across some tools such as Replit, V0. As you can see, that I've already tried to build something here with V0. I was just trying, with it, something that I wanted to build. Um, then Bolt, then Rourke, right? And then Trey. So out of all of these, like, everybody, I know, at least we have a consensus that Cursor is by far the best, right? So you should definitely look into it, and this makes code editing, debugging, building features quite easy, right? And then there are some other platforms such as Softer. I really like this platform because you're able to build a lot of applications, and within a very short period of time. And then people who are again interested in automation, as I personally am, then you have products like Active Pieces, or maybe if you're into marketing, then you can look into the automation agency OS, right? So there's a whole comparison. I'll drop all the links in the description as well, right? And then there's Appify. Again, it's a platform where you can basically get all sorts of scrapers. This is for data, if you need data scraping, right? And then there's AppSumo. This is for small developers who can develop, different products, small applications, web or mobile, but don't know where to sell them. So AppSumo is again a very great, platform, marketplace where you can sell off, your products. And finally, NST browser. This is something that I've just recently tried, but I have to extensively try it. So this one I'm probably going to do an entire, tutorial on this one. But this is something pretty interesting. A lot of use cases you can see right here, right? So do look into it, right? And so yeah, so again, as I always say, that keep learning and keep, just try to level up and keep building your skill set. All of these things that I do on a daily basis, I just love learning, and that is the reason. And once you start learning things, once you get deeper into it, you sort of come up with your own formula, right? That helps you learn things quickly. And finally, at the end, if there are any questions, right, do just comment in the comment section below, or shoot me a message, and I'll try to respond to as many messages as I can and as soon as I can. And hopefully, inshallah, see you in the next video.